In this video, I've got 7 things I absolutely love about the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and also 3 areas where I think it falls a bit short. And so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Starting with the obvious, the cameras. First off, there's really no difference between the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the Galaxy S23 Ultra's camera setup. But after several tests, the S24 retains the Ultra title for being the best phone camera for its versatility. Held by a 200 megapixel image sensor, in this main camera here, you have a range of new AI features and the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipsets. Now, the Galaxy S24 Ultra has a slight overall improvement over the S23 Ultra. While the photos on this device are really great, I mean it when I say this is a top tier device as far as cameras, it did particularly well in extreme light conditions. The contrast and the color rendition is another aspect to love about this device. Portrait mode is still on point, of course as we expect from a Samsung device, and the skin tones is something I really do love about the S24 Ultra. Video isn't something we haven't seen before. They are quite good and similar to the S23 Ultra actually, and can stand the competition. Something I love about the S24 Ultra and also the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from last year is the ability to switch between cameras and even the selfie cameras, something the iPhone 15 Pro Max can do. This is especially useful while vlogging, instead of having to cut and start a separate recording every time you switch cameras. So cameras here is a slight improvement from the Galaxy S23 Ultra, which in itself was already a great camera from last year. So battery. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is powered by a 5000 mAh battery that should run you for at least 6 hours screen on time, at least from my test, which has been my average daily use from fully charged device on the S24 Ultra. You can actually get this device to last you for at least 2 days with a careful use and also turning down the display resolution and other screen settings like the screen brightness. Unfortunately, this phone doesn't come with a charger out of the box, but it can support up to 45 watts of wired fast charging, and also there's wireless charging on here. Speaking of the chargers, you might not be able to get the fastest 45 watt charging speeds with a third-party charger that Samsung doesn't officially support. You would likely get about 25 watts for the maximum charging speed with those chargers. By the way, to tell the charging speed you are on with this device, just read the text that flashes when you plug in this phone. For instance, when you see fast charging, it means you're charging up to 15 watts, super fast charging means 25 watts charge, and a super fast charging 2.0 means you're charging at 45 watts charge. You can also charge smaller accessories like the AirPods, Galaxy Buds from the S24 Ultra using this reverse charging feature, not a feature you find on your iPhone. So good battery life and great charging speeds are the reasons to pick this smartphone. AI. The prominent feature of the Galaxy S24 Ultra has to be the AI features. It's safe to say that the AI capability on the smartphone are the main thrust of this round of updates. With the Galaxy S24 Ultra, you can circle to search, which is like making a web search by simply circling an object of whatever app you happen to be in on the screen. Now let's say I'm on Instagram and I see a photo or an item in a video I want to know more about. I can press and hold the menu button here and then circle on that item, and this brings up the information about that thing. That's crazy. It also has this chat assist that can suggest different tones and wordings for text messages, depending on who you're trying to text, giving you different tones you probably would take time figuring out. The best part of the AI feature is the live translates on this device. It provides real-time translation of phone conversations with all the translating happening here on the phone. Although this isn't the best so far, it actually gets the job done. So it actually depends on how you pronounce the words, but you can get a full-on conversation with people speaking different languages. There's also this ability to edit photos and remove objects and really manipulate photos like you're a pro photo editor in a matter of minutes using this device. AI is a big one on the S24 Ultra. Now let's talk about the displays. There isn't a lot to talk about displays here. First off, let's get it out of the way that Samsung devices are really colorful and pleasant to watch, and that is the case here. For the improvements here, it's simply bigger and brighter. You know, a lot of people complained about the slightly curved display from the S23 Ultra last year. Samsung actually listened and made this one flat. The S24 Ultra gives you more screen space to work with, really shrunk bezels on this 6.8-inch panel, actually AMOLED. Brightness on the S24 Ultra is massive, a whopping 2600 nits, up from the 1750 we got from the S23 Ultra and about 2000 we have on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now this is arguably the brightest display on a smartphone currently, so you should be able to see the phone screen no matter how harsh the lighting condition is outdoors. So let's talk about updates. Another aspect where Samsung got really generous is in terms of the updates or the OS updates with this device. Samsung has pretty much been generous over the years, promising 4 years of software updates to go with 5 years of security patches or support for the flagship devices. But Google since trumped that 4-year pledge by providing 7 years of support on the Google Pixel 8 series. And the best way to respond to that was to join the party, obviously. Now, the Galaxy S24 Ultra offers 7 years of software and security support, meaning you can hold on to this device for as long as you desire, or at least up to 2031. Durability, which is more like the design build, is another aspect that was considered on this one. Just like the latest model of the Apple's iPhone 15 series, Samsung adopted titanium for the frame of the S24 Ultra. It didn't just stop with titanium when it came to strengthening the Galaxy S24 Ultra. This new phone uses Corning Gorilla Armor for the display, which is rated as 4x more scratch resistant than most other types of toughened glass. I still recommend you buy one of the best Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra cases to protect your $1,300 to $1,700 investment. I have a link to the cases I currently use with this device in the description box below. With all that being said, here are 3 areas I think the S24 Ultra could have been better. First off, a shorter zoom range. One of the most talked about change on the Galaxy S24 Ultra is in its telephoto lens. Samsung replaced one of the 10 megapixel lenses on the S23 Ultra with a 50 megapixel lens on the S24 Ultra. Of course, that should produce more detailed zooms, but the 50 megapixel lens only offers a 5x optical zoom, as opposed to the 10x zoom that the departed 10 megapixel sensor provided. Now, the Galaxy S24 Ultra still produces good zoom shots, no doubt, but the telephoto lens has taken a small step backward with the 5x optical zoom. The S Pen is another one. This migrated over from Samsung's now defunct Galaxy Note line for the S21 Ultra, and since then, the only change has been the S Pen getting more responsive and finding a slot in the Galaxy S22 Ultra. That pattern is continuing with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, as the S Pen remains unchanged from the previous models if you ask me. Now, the S Pen is one of the Ultra's most unique features with Samsung, so why not add more capabilities that highlights what a valuable productivity tool this can be, especially in support of the new AI features like circle to search. I know you can use that, but I think there are more things we could do with the S Pen. It's just been stale for a while now, with nothing new really going on with this one. Now, the third thing here would be the price. Samsung increased the number of bucks you have to hand over to get the S24 Ultra. It raised the price by $100 as the S24 Ultra starts at $1,300 this year. Now, that's the most Samsung has charged for a phone that doesn't fold in half. $12.99 is a lot to pay for a phone, particularly one with a modest hardware improvement from the previous generation or last year. More expensive than even the iPhone this year. They could have maintained the same pricing as last year for better reception actually. So here's my conclusion. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is one of the best Android smartphones you can buy right now. I love the brighter display, the long-lasting battery life, the fast charging system here, reverse charging, and the pictures produced by this smartphone are really solid. Even if it's arguably not fully convincing for a lot of people that the zoom lens is an improvement over the one we got from the Galaxy S23 Ultra last year. That said, if a $1,300 starting price makes you hesitate about the S24 Ultra, I can't hold it against you. Much of this phone's appeal is going to lie in its AI features and brighter display. If you appreciate those and can afford it, you likely won't blink at the S24 Ultra's cost. Otherwise, you might want to consider a different phone if the S24 Ultra has failed to impress you, or stick with the S23 Ultra from last year if you already own that device. It's close enough. So check out my day in the life of the S24 Ultra here. Kawidati.